Hi, welcome to Crafting with Kimberly. I'm Kimberly Canale, and today we're going to be making a macrame keychain. Macrame has become very popular again. It was very popular in the 60s and 70s. It was everywhere. Kind of went away for a while, and now it's back. You can go to almost any big box store and you'll see some gorgeous macrame wall hangings. And they're not that hard to do. You can make them yourself. We're going to start with a keychain because a smaller project is a little bit easier to start with. And once you master the knots, well, then you can go on and make anything bigger. You can make wall hangings, you can make baskets, you can make jewelry. Lots of fun and not that hard to do. So let's see what supplies we need. We're going to need macrame cord. This cord comes in various lengths, from very, very tiny on up to super thick. I am using 3mm cord. This is a 4-stranded cord, 3mm, and I'm using white. It comes in many different colors and it goes all the way up into some very, very thick thicknesses. Most macrame wall hangings are done with usually 5 or 6. We're using 3. I wanted it to look a little more delicate. You could also use 2, but if this is your first project, it might be a little easier to do the 3mm. It's a nice length in between. So get yourself some 3mm cord, and again, I am using the 4-strand. You also need some type of key ring. I prefer they're called D rings, and they look a little bit like this. They've got a straight bottom, comes across the top, and then it has the part that you can clip onto things. That's what I prefer to use. I didn't have any of those with me today, so I am using just this little circle ring. It opens up this way and connects in. This is what I'm going to be showing today. I suggest get the D rings. So you need your cord, your keychain. You definitely need a pair of scissors. You need a ruler to be able to get the lengths of the cord you need. You might want to have, if you have it, a wire dog brush or a comb. This is great at the end for when you want to make fringe. If you want to unravel your cord, I'm going to show you how to comb it out and make your fringe look a little prettier. So this is not needed, but it's nice to have. And then maybe a little bit of water to keep your cords once you've unfringed your tassel. Once you've gotten that all combed out, put a little bit of water on it, and that will hold the shape of what you get it to be. What's also nice to have is some kind of tape to be able to tape your project down to your hard surface that you're working on. Some people like to do their macrame hanging, especially if they're doing a wall hanging. They do it right hanging up from the wall and a little easier to work from it that way. I like to do my smaller projects on a flat surface, so I've got the surface that's hard. I can use it to my advantage instead of worrying about all the cords hanging and floating around. So get yourself just a piece of tape to be able to tape your keychain to your table to be able to make it a little easier to work on and being able to pull on your knots and make them tight without it flying all over the place. Now I'm going to turn the camera around so you can see it from a closer view and be able to see the knots that I make a little bit easier. Let's get started. When I do macrame, I like to take all of my jewelry off so it doesn't get caught in the cords. So I suggest you possibly do the same thing. We're going to take one of the 4 pieces of the 160 centimeter cords, or 63 inches. You're going to put the 2 ends together, hold those tight, find your middle. With that loop, you're going to take your key ring, you're going to put it through the hole, make that loop. I like to put my fingers through, and we're going to just put that cord right through. Pull that up close to the top. That is now called a lark's head knot. That is how almost all basic macrame is started. There's many different ways to get your cords onto whatever you're using, your stick or your rings, but this is a lark's head knot. This is the easiest. So you're going to do that with each of the cords. Again, find your middle, put the two ends together, bring it on down, find your loop, put it through your hole, take your fingers, come through that hole, put the cords right on through, tighten. That's 2. Through the keychain, key ring, grab the cords, pull them through, tighten, and your final one. If you are worried about your cords starting to fray, as you can see, this one has been sitting there for a while and it has frayed a bit, you could either put tape, Scotch tape around the end of them, or if you do not want to take your cords apart, if when you have your tassel, you want to keep them all looking like this, then just add some glue to the end. Twist either hot glue or school glue, twist those ends closed, and then glue that on down, and then they won't unravel. I'm going to unravel these at the end, so I don't mind if it's a little frayed, but that will be your choice. So if you're not sure what you want to do and it's bothering you, just take some Scotch tape or masking tape or the painter's tape. Put that through. And now we have 4 loops on our chain here. You straighten them out. What I want to do is, so as I said before, so they don't move around too much, I want to just tape that down so I don't have to worry about, am I going to pull it off or not? So I'm just going to put that all the way up at the top. I'm going to tape it right to my table. So now this way I can pull on this and I'm not going to have to worry about them moving around. We do not need the smaller cord right now, the 63 centimeters or 25-inch cord. We don't need that, so I'm just going to set that off to the side for now. So for right now, we're going to start with what's called a square knot. I want to use, you have 1 cord, 2 cords, 3 cords, and 4 cords. I want to start with the center 2. So I don't need this one. I'm just going to put that out and away. I don't need this one yet. I'm going to move that out and away. I just would like to work with my 2 center cords. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be working on what's called a square knot. This is a basic cord. You're going to use the 2 outer and the 2 center. So I'm going to take my outer left cord. I want to cross that over so it looks like a 4. So you can see I've just taken this outer cord, crossed it over, and now it looks like a 4. I'm going to take my right side cord, bring it down over my 4, and now I want to go under this cord and under that cord, and I'm going to now pull. And bring it all the way right up to the top, making that tight. That is half of the square knot. Most knots always have to be done in twos, in pairs. So that's the left side. Now I have to do the right side. So I am going to take this cord, make a backwards 4, taking it, crossing it over, my center 2, taking my left cord, bringing it down over the crossover. I'm going to go under those 2 strings. I'm going to go under this string, grab it, and now pull the 2 ends. And this finishes my square knot, making sure my cords don't twist. That is a square knot. That is one of the most basic knots in macrame. So that's a square knot. So I've done that one. I'm going to do 1 square knot in the center, 2 on the end. I'm going to continue that pattern back and forth until I have 6 single square knots in the middle, and we're going to have 5 pairs of square knots on the side. So this is my first row. Now let's go to the second row. Let's come over here. I'm going to use this first cord. You always need 4 cords, so then I'm going to use those 2. I don't need the 2 cords on the right, so I'm going to push that off to the side. So now I have my cords here. I'm going to do the same thing. Move this cord out, get my center cords, and take that cord. So I have 2 cords coming down the center, 1 to the right and 1 to the left. I'm going to take my left cord and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to turn it into a 4. I'm going to take my right cord, bring it down over that cord, under the center, up through the crossover, and pull. You have to go slowly so you can just keep sure all those cords are tight. And I want this to be a second row, so I'm not going to go all the way up to the top. I'm going to leave a little bit of cord there. I want to pull it tight though, so you can use your fingers. Pull that tight. So there's row 1. This is row 2. That's 1/2 of it. Now I have to go back this way. Take my right cord, cross it over the center, take my left cord, bring it over the crossover. I'm going to bring it under the 2 cords in the center, under the open part of the backwards 4, pull it through and pull. Making sure nothing's twisted as I've gone. So now I have my second row square knot. I am going to come over to this side now. The left side is done. I now have to do the right side. I'm going to put those cords up and away. I'm going to bring these cords down and do the same thing. Move it to the side. Move it to the side. Get my 2 cords in the middle. I'm going to start with the left. I'm going to make my 4, taking that, crossing it over, taking my right, bringing it down over the crossover, under the 2 center cords, under the 4, and pull. Straightening, going slowly, keeping it all nice and tight and straight. And now I have part of my square knot done. I have to go back this way. So I have to take my right cord, cross it and make a backwards 4, take my left cord, bring it over the crossover, go underneath the 2 center cords, under the open part of the 4, pulling it through and pulling it up. Snugging it up there, making it tight. So now I have my second row 2 square knots done. So now you can see the pattern. We're going to have 1 single and then 2 pair. So now my next row, I need to do another single. So I need just my center cord. So I'm going to take 2 of those cords from the left away, 2 cords from the right side away, and I'm just going to use my center cords again. Push those right up and out of the way. So now I have a right cord and my left cord and my 2 in the center. We're going to do the same thing. Cross it over to make a 4. Take your right cord, bring it over the crossover, under the center, up through the middle of the 4, and snug it up. And I have to finish it. So now I do my backwards 4. Take my right cord, bring it over the 2 to make a backward 4. Bring the cord down, under the center, up through the center of the backwards 4, pull it through, and snug it up. So this is my 3rd row, or my second single. I'm going to want 6 singles going down, and I'm going to want 5 sets of pairs. So you just continue doing this pattern until you have that amount. So again, I'm going to bring all my cords down. If it gets confusing, bring all my cords. I now need to do 2 because I just did a single. So I'm going to take the left 4 cords, move these right cords away, get my center 2 cords, make my 4. Make my 4, bring the right over the left, under the center of the 4, and pull. Just pulling as I go. You can see this gets to be a little harder when you're trying to get it even. So just take your time because you want the lines to show. So just take your time to get it in the position it needs to be. Take your right cord, bring it over the center 2, bring your left cord over the crossover, under the center, under the backward 4, and pull it up and tighten. That is a square knot. Put those to the side, bring the other 4 cords down, straighten them, take your outer cord and your outer cord, and then you have your 2 center cords. Do it again. Make a 4 with your left cord. Take the right, bring it down over, under. You can see how it wants to twist. Just straighten it out as you go. Snug it so it's even with the other square knot. Now I have to finish it. Backwards 4, over, under, and pull. So now I have 1, 2 singles and 1, 2 doubles. Again, I'm going to continue this until we have 6 singles and 5 pairs of doubles. I'm going to continue this pattern. I'm going to speed the camera up a bit and you continue on as well. So I've completed the pattern. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 single square knots and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pairs of square knots. I'm ending on a single square knot. Now I want to do another stitch and I want to make some diagonal rows. So I'm going to be using 4 cords from the left-hand side. So I'm going to gather those 4. I'm going to take these 4 and push them away for right now. Now we're going to be doing a different knot. This is called a double half hitch. And this helps give you diagonal or straight lines. We're going to continue to go down the diagonal to make it into a nice point. So I've taken my 4 right cords, put them away. I'm going to start with my 4 left cords. I am going to count this one as my looping cord. I am going to count those as the working cords. So I'm going to take this left cord and I'm going to bring it down kind of like a 4. Use all these cords as your bottom line for your 4. I'm going to kind of make a 4 like that. But for right now, I'm just going to use the second cord. So I'm basically counting this as cord 1 or the cord that you're going to be putting all your loops on. So I'm going to cross that down and I'm going to use this first cord. I'm going to bring this cord up and I want to make a U now. So first it looks like a 4, but now this is going under. I want to take this cord and bring it up. So it's starting under, coming around, and just coming up over that loop. I'll even push those away for right now just for you to see that. Let's do that again. So with my 2 cords over here, starting with this one, taking this cord, crossing it over this first cord hanging down. So this cord is now under this. I'm taking this cord, bringing it up over to make a U. I'm taking the end of this cord. I need to go under and up through that center. So I'm going under and pulling it up, holding this cord as I pull. And I'm going to just pull that all the way up and tighten it up to the top. And as in macrame, you always have to do that twice. So I'm keeping that cord down, bringing this up like a U, under, up through, and pulling it again. So this is still my first cord. This was my second, which was over here, but now it's over here. And I'm done with that one. So now I need that second cord. This would actually be the third cord in. So I'm taking this cord that we just looped on, bringing it over my third cord. So it looks like a 4. Taking the cord, bringing it up and over so it looks like a U, going under and up through, and pulling that close and making that tight and snug right next to that other one. But again, we have to do this twice. Making a U, going under and through. And I want this to be a diagonal line, so I'm pushing it up close to my single knot. So those are 2 cords now. I'm going to take my final cord, taking still, this is the first cord, this was the second, the third, here's your fourth. Taking this cord, bringing it over that one like a 4. Taking this cord, bringing it up like a U, coming through the center and up, pulling it tight, snugging it right in there. But again, I have to do that twice. Bringing that up like a 4, under, there's my U, under and through, and pulling it tight. I have now made double hitch knots. Going down, you can see it looks like it's going down like a diagonal. Now we need to do the right side. Going this way is a little bit more awkward, so it might be easier to hold the cord in your hand. We're going at a diagonal down this way. So this is my outermost right cord, which is my loop or my lead cord. Might be easier if you just hold that in your hand above your other cords. You're going to take this very first cord, very first cord is your lead or loop cord. So you're using this next cord. You want to pick that up, holding this cord in your hand. Bring this cord up, make a U. So you're going over the top of the one that you're holding, and then go down through that hole and pull and snug that up tight. And you have to do it again because we always need 2. Still holding this cord, bringing this cord over the top and then under and through. So that's your first cord. That's done. Do it again with this next cord. Still holding your lead or loop cord. Bring the cord up and over, make a U. Take the cord under and up through that hole. And snug it up. Do it again. Make a U. Go under and up through. And snug. That cord is done. And now you have your final cord that hasn't been worked. Still holding your lead loop cord. Bring it up I like to kind of grab it, go under and up through. Snug it. And do that again. Make your U. Bring your end under that square bar, up through the hole, and over here, and snug. So now we have the double half hitch going this way and this way. So now we want to connect these two cords. And it doesn't matter if you go right over left or left over right. I'm going to hold the left cord. I'm going to take my right cord, bring it up, make that U, down and up through. That's one. Put them together. I have to do that again, still holding that cord, bringing it up, making a U, bringing it down through, and snugging it together. So now we have the double half hitches going downward, and they are connected. So now we need to make another row of the double half hitch. We're going to use our outer, we're going to be on the left side, our outermost left cord, that's going to be our lead or our loop cord. That's the one that's going to cross over all the other cords. Starting with this first cord then, we're going to go up over that cord, under, making a loop and pulling it through, snugging that up tight. And again, going over your cord, taking your end, bringing it under and up through that U, and putting it right next to that. So we're going diagonally. We're done with that cord. Now we're on this cord. This is up on top or over the other cord. So you're going to bring this cord, bring it over your top cord, under the top square bar, straight across bar, and pull it up through, bringing it close to the top, over to make a U, taking that, bringing it up underneath there, and pulling up and tightening. So it's right underneath that one. That one's done. Do that one more time. This cord is coming down, so we're going to go up over the cord to make a U, bringing it under that straight bar, up through the top of that U, pulling it tight and through, and one more time, over, under that cord, up, and tightening. So now we have our second row of diagonals. We'll push that to the side. Now we need to go on the right side. Taking the outermost right cord, we'll be using that as our lead or our loop cord. That's the cord that's going to go over all of those others. Again, I like to hold it when I'm coming over. It's a little less confusing. So this is over all of those three cords. This comes up, goes over the cord to make a U, down under that bar and through. And tighten, and we have to do it twice. Over to make a U, under and through, under, up through, pull. And tighten. We're done with that string. Now this one. It's over those. We're going to bring this cord out from underneath. Make your U over the cord, under and up through. And tighten. One more time. That same cord, make your U, bring it under that bar, bring it up through, and pull it tight. For some reason, I find my right side much easier than my left. This is your last one on this side, still holding that lead up over that bar, under the bar, up through, pull, tighten, one more time, up, under, and pull. Snug that up. So now we have 2 rows of the double half hitch, but we want to close it because you can see it's open. We want to close it. I'm going to continue with this right hand cord, so I'm going to still hold the cord that we just used, bring the 4th cord from the left side. So you're going to bring it up, make your U, under that bar, up through the center of the U. That's one more. Make your U, under that bar and up through. And we now have 2 rows of the double half hitch. We're going to basically gather all of these cords together to make a tassel. Now, you could just take them and wrap them this way if you wanted all of those lines together, but I'm going to show you a way to make it even closer together. So now I'm going to do another row of the double half hitch, but they're going to look a little bit different. So I'm taking these 4 cords. I don't need these 4. I'm going to push those off to the side. I'm going to do the first stitch as normal. The first knot normal. So I'm going to use my outer left cord. I'm going to bring it over the first cord. Bring that cord up over your cord. Make your U. Bring it up through and pull. Snug that right up to the top. You're going to do that again. Bring it over your cord, make your U, go under that bar, through the center, and pull. And snug it right up against those other knots. So that's how we normally did it. But now the way we're going to make it different is we're going to take this cord that we just used, we're going to add it to this cord. So now we're going to have 2 cords as your lead or your loop cord. So now I'm going to use this string. These both being held together come over the top of this one. So that's over the top. This one comes up, comes over both of those cords to make a U. You're going to go under both of those cords, pull it up through, and pull, snugging it up against the other ones. And again, do it again. These 2 cords, bring this cord up over the 2 cords, make your U, go under and up, and then pull that up tight against your other knots. Now we're going to take this cord and bring it all together. So now you have 3 cords with your 1 cord from your left-hand side. Your 3 cords go over the 1 cord. I'm just going to kind of straighten it out so everything's not crazy. So bring that over this cord, bring this cord up, make your U, go on top of all of those cords, make a U, take your end, go under and up through, pull, snug that all together. I'm going to do the same thing because we always have to do it in pairs. Bring that up over those cords, under and up, and that locks that in. So now that has joined all of these cords together. Now we have to do that to this side. So push those away. We're going to do the same thing over on this side. So again, on this side, I find it easier just to kind of hold it and go over. So I'm going to hold that in my hand this way. The outermost right, this very first one, is going to come up over that cord, making my U, going under and up through. That's 1. I have to do that again. Make my U, go under that cord and up through. Snug it together. There's the 1. I'm going to combine those cords now to become my lead cord. Now I'm going to do the same thing to the second cord now, holding these 2 together, bringing my next cord up, make your U, go under that bar and up through, and pull. Again, up over the 2 cords, go under the bar, bring it up through the loop, and snug it together. And that's made that knot. I'm going to add this cord. So now we have 3 cords, and I have to do my final cord. So these 3 cords are together. I'm bringing this one up over the 3 cords, making my U, going under the bar, up through, pulling it tight, bringing it together, doing it one more time to finish, up, under, and through. So I have them gathered from one side and gathered from the other side, all meeting in the middle. I do not need to knot that in the center because we're going to be wrapping this. So we have all of those cords hanging down, brought together. Now is your time to adjust anything you need. Just make sure everything is laying nicely, brought down. Now we're going to take our 25-inch or 63-centimeter cord. We're going to bring that over. We're going to leave about like 1 inch, 2 inches. Lay that going upwards. Put your hand underneath so you can hold all your cords. And I want you to make a loop with that cord. So you've got about a 2-inch going up. We've made a loop. And now I'm going to hold all of those together. And I'm going to wrap. I want to keep my loop. So you want to make sure you've got a good loop there. we're going to be wrapping around it, but I don't want to completely cover all the way down my loop. You can wrap it as many times as you want. We're going to be wrapping right starting up at the top. So your cord about 2 inches going up this way. You've looped it, you've come back up, so you basically have made a U. Bring that right to the top, hold it all together, and then start wrapping. We're going to wrap all the way under the cords, around that loop, and around all the cords. And you want to wrap very tightly. Hold it and wrap tightly. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, making sure there are no gaps. I'm going to go 1 more, bringing that up. So now I have that wrapped. I have my cord still hanging up from the top. I have this wrapped all nice and tight. I have my loop still showing. I want to take this cord now, coming through, and I want to go up through that loop. So I'm bringing that end up through the loop, and I'm now going to pull this string and this string. I'm going to pull it tight, pulling it tight, and now I'm going to continue to pull this top string so I can pull that knot into the middle. I'm pulling it, and I want to hide that loop right in the middle, making sure I have that where I want it, and bringing that loop right up in. So now I have that wrapped. I have this loop in. I've taken the loop, it's pulled it through. So now I can take my scissors, and I'm going to cut close, being careful not to cut any of my loops. You can then take your scissors and kind of poke that in the center. And now I have part of my tassel. You decide how long you want your tassel to be. I'm going to move that up a little bit so you can see that. I would like my tassel to probably maybe go about to there. So now I'm just going to take my scissors where I want it to be and just cut. Cut my cords where I want it to be. And push the cord to that. So now you have a tassel. You can either leave the cords hanging like this, or to really make it fancy, you can take your string and unwind it. There are 4 cords. There are strings that are, different macrame cords come with different, some are just like 2-strand. This is a 4-strand, 3mm cord. So I want to undo all of these because I like the way it looks being undone. So just unravel all of this. You can also, once you have this all unraveled, you can take a comb or a brush and brush these out. If you have one of those wire bristled dog brushes, those work great to get that all brushed out, but you don't have to. So just unwrap all of these. I'm going to speed this up. I'm going to continue unwrapping all of these cords. So I've unraveled all of my cords, so it gives this really pretty fringe look. As I said, you can take a wire dog brush or even a comb, but you can go through and brush those to really make it lay nicely. You can even wet it a little bit. If you take a little bit of water, pour it on, smooth it on out, give it another brush. This will ensure that this stays straight and flat once it dries. I would just spread it out on your table a little bit more. Do your final trim just to make sure all your ends are nice and neat. Neat and straight. And then you don't have to dry this flat out. You could, you can spread it out, but now that you've wet it and just, letting it dry, it'll stay in that nice, soft, smooth tassel. So now we have a really pretty macrame keychain. And that wrapping knot will really hold on. You don't have to worry about it coming apart. It is in there for good. Mine's still a little wet, you can see, but then once that dries, it will flow very nicely. But really pretty. It's not that hard. I know these double half hitch knots, that's a little hard to get used to. The square knot's pretty easy. This one's a little more confusing, but as long as you just take it slow, and then once you get the hang of it, then it's pretty easy going from there. So I hope you had fun. This is Kimberly Canale, Crafting with Kimberly. See you next time.